What's up, my good people? Eric here. Let's talk Euphoria. So, funny enough, I got into Euphoria while drinking. I started out watching season 2, episode 1, had zero clue what was going on, and then me and a friend we went back and started from episode 1, season 1. And I think we watched 5 episodes that night, drinking the way through. So we were setting the mood right to watch Euphoria, a show about addiction. Um, this show on HBO, drama, is addicting. I mean, it is. You have to know what's happening, what's gonna happen next. It's hard to put this show down. I feel like it is in the way, like drugs, addicting, caffeine. You just need it. You want it, and it's a wild ride. In HBO fashion, there's a lot of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Um, a lot of weird moments, a lot of hard to swallow moments, rough moments, brutal moments. It has its fair share of moments that you don't particularly want to see, and moments that you can't open your eyes big enough. I guess it's got a lot of moments in it, and there's a lot of pros and well, I don't want to say a lot, but I have pros and cons of this show. But for what I can say is, this is a review for season 1, and I can't wait for season 2 because I am engaged. Is that the right word? Engaged in these characters. I don't want to say attached. I have no attachment to them, but just, you know the word I'm looking for. I'm looking forward to seeing how these characters evolve or devolve, or just what how they go through these lives that they've made for themselves in this show. But this show is at times preposterous. It's hard to believe that this is a high school and that these kids are partying and doing all this as if they were in high school. At least that's not how I thought high school. That's not how I lived my high school. I mean, I was boring as hell, and I didn't do a whole lot in high school myself. So, kind of, my town's a little mundane, maybe, but yeah, they just. I feel like this show takes like all the stereotypes to the furthest reaches of their stereotype. Um, with I mean, everyone. I mean, Zendaya being the Rue being the biggest example, but everyone just is not normal in this show. Everyone has a beyond traumatic experience in this show. It but that's what makes it so engaging, in my opinion. That's why it's like you're grasping for more, because take your life, for instance, and or whatever, a life. Take every interesting, heart pounding, edge of your seat, thrilling moment and mash it up into 8 episodes. And that's one person, that's one character in this show, Euphoria. That's what it was like. So that's what made it like every scene there was some big moment, some character was finding out information that was gonna traumatize them or make them choose a path in their life which they could not turn back from. that's what made this show so interesting to me. Um, but yeah, that like I'll watch season two probably when the rest of it comes when it's I can binge watch it. But it is like it's so drama heavy. And the drama, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's intense. It's an intense show, and it can be a lot. Um, so I watched it within the first season within like a 12-hour period, and oh, and it's just a lot of drama and a lot of information. These characters do a lot, and there's character development. There's just it's just a roller coaster of the lives that these characters are living. So I mean, you got Rue and her addiction to drugs since she was a I don't remember what grade, a young kid, to like legit. I don't know if she's doing. Well, she did fentanyl, but just her addiction to something to dull the pain, to put her in a state of absence, and that's hard to watch. If anyone has ever watched anybody on drugs, that's a hard thing to. I mean, I feel like Zendaya does a great job of acting that, performing that, and but that's just a roller coaster because she is down in the depths and just struggling to stay alive, and then meets Jules and starts climbing that hill back out of hell, I guess, climbing that mountain, and kind of becomes clean and starts to enjoy life. And then the ending happens and she goes back down that path again. It's uh I mean, once you're on them, you're on them for life. From what I've heard from like heroin, once you get that first high, you never stop thinking about it. But you always, if something bad happens, you think about going back on them because it's just a way to numb the pain. And so her whole journey is just hard to watch because it's just this character that is just so overly dependent on drugs to get her through the day, and that can be an emotional roller coaster for sure. So that, I mean, it is, and that just adds to all the other characters and what they're going through. Um, Jules being the new girl at school or the new girl in town, and being different, being transgender, and the struggles she goes through, and just putting herself out there, for lack of a better word, and experiencing. That's where it's just so hard to believe that these people are in high school, but just experience like going through a sexual metamorphosis here and experiencing all life has to offer in, I mean, unsafe ways for sure. That was a some of that was hard to watch for sure, but having the relationship she does with Cal, the older guy, and how that progresses is just like, where is that gonna go? Like, that is so deep. It is just the 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 ramifications that are involved in that relationship have there's so much potential for an implosion. I always get stuffy when I'm on the screen here. It makes no sense. I might be allergic to making videos. But no, That might lead to like an implosion. I mean, I feel like that's going to drag even more people into the scene when whatever happens there. I mean, it's a red. Is it a red herring or a loaded gun? Maybe it's setting the scene for something. I mean, the tensions. There's a lot of tension between the two right now, and I feel like it could definitely evolve into something big. I'd have to say my favorite character that I've enjoyed so far is I like Fez, the drug dealer. I like when he's on the screen. I mean, he's a bro at times, and he's a drug dealer trying to get rid of it, like trying to move his product. And he's got his own demons he's fighting. I mean, he's got a sick grandma, and really, did HBO really need to go there with the grandma in bed scene? Did we really need to see her boobs? But they looked like they were from a 30-year-old. But dude, is that something we really needed to see? Didn't hate them, but really. Oh jeez. Um. Okay, but so Fez, but then dealing with that mouse dude, that like straight up thug drug dealer, the hot, the next level up. I mean, Fez is in a rock and a hard place. He needs to move this product. Doesn't want to move much, but if he says no, he's gonna get capped or something, and get shot. And he's got to do what he's got to do to survive. And that but he's not. He's willing to do whatever it takes. Goes into that the rich dude's house to rob him. Gets the money. The dude talks back and beats the living hell out of him. That was awesome. Right in front of that kid was so traumatic, was such an event, and Fez is just emotionless. I, I mean, he had to do what he had to do, and I love that. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of Breaking Bad. Just the drugs and the um, zero compassion and doing whatever it takes to survive. Fez, I hope we see more of him, and I hope like he definitely has more scenes because when he's in them, I'm glued because he cares about his friends whether they're drug users or not, and but I mean don't get in his way. Um, Jacob, the quarterback, what a effed up situation. That is so messed up. Like why he I don't know if it's ambiguous. Me and my buddy were trying to figure it out. Like, is he with Jules because his dad was? Or is he like genuinely interested in her for the transgender reason? Um, to him, like the closeted gay person. Is that like is he? I mean, there's so many reasons for what he's doing, and I mean, he's like the star quarterback on the team. He's going places, but he has been utterly scarred by them DVDs, dude. That was so sick. That's so like. I mean, fix my hair there. Like it ruined him. It like he's got all this pent up anger, and it's like made him a little psychotic to a degree, and he just doesn't know how to feel, and he's all just pent up with everything, and like wow, could I just like just to see your dad, um, like what the f, dude. The dad is so freaking messed up, and he's like the owner of the city or one of the biggest investors in the city. He'll build this town, and you're like, that's who he is. But his secret side self is doing that in the hotels with him, just with strangers. Like, what the F, man? That's so messed up. And then for him to watch the tapes, hours of tapes, what the hell? That was like, what the heck? Like the moments in this show are so utterly shocking and surreal and yeah, speechless. There's a word I'm looking for that I can't quite think of at the moment. Visceral, maybe it's visceral. Just like holy moly, dude! That has affected Jake's. Is it Jake or Jacob? Has affected his behavior the entire time. I mean, his on and off again, utterly toxic relationship with Maddie is just what the F. I mean, and she's no slice of life character, just saint herself. I mean, she loves the toxicity. She's like a mean girl. She lives on it. She likes. I mean, I don't know if that's a sign of abuse. I don't even know, attachment issues, abuse, but she keeps going back to him even though she knows it's wrong. But then she sees him cheating or him making out with a girl at prom, and so she's got to go do it with another guy to make him jealous. It's just they're constantly butting heads and fighting and making up and fighting, and it's like the most abusive, toxic relationship ever conceived. And she's just, I can't remember her exact backstory. I think she was a dancer or something. I imagine something happened to her. I don't quite remember. Um, wow, this has been a long video. Let's see. Lexi, I think, might be the only normal one, which is Cassie's sister. I think. I couldn't. I didn't really do. I didn't really look that up, but I think that's. So she's like the only one who's a bro or a sis. I don't know what girls use for that, but she does when Rue comes asking for pee or just help, she's there for her, so that's cool. But she's pretty. So far, she's not done anything crazy. Cassie is another mean girl, utterly toxic relationship, but once again, I've literally forgotten what her history is, but there's a reason she's like that. Like I can't remember. I remember they show her like backstory growing up. Same thing with Maddie, and I can't remember what it was, but her always like wanting to be accepted by a guy. Oh yeah, and then every guy telling her that she has no personality, they only want her for her boobs or something along them lines really like damaged her in terms of relationships, and she's finally met like one good decent guy, whatever. I can't remember that guy's name, but one good decent guy, but because of her past and the videos she's made, he can't get over it that she's slept with with the fact that like every friend he knows has a video of her sleeping with them guys. So that's just utterly ruined. I mean, that's a hurdle they both got to get over. And then the most recent thing was with her abortion. Like that would scar any young girl or whatever, high school. Okay. Um but that happens. So that's traumatic. Cal, I went over him a little bit. Like that's gonna implode. Oh, and then Cat. Uh, okay. I mean, she's the larger girl, for lack of a better word. Um, and I mean, she creates, is it an OnlyFans or something, and starts doing that. Nudes online and making guys what was it, making guys come on her command or something, and her character change is wild because she started out as someone who was inexperienced in like episode 1 or I think, and by episode 8 she's a straight up, or episode, yeah, 8 she's just like her body count is just like way up there, and she's just acting like a real POS, just a complete total personality change. But I did like how I think at the end she gave the only guy that's ever been nice to her, ever, even the carnival thing was a misunderstanding, ever been nice to her, gave him a chance again. I think that's what happened at the end. So yeah, so we left off with Jules is gone, Rue's back in her depressive state, but I just it's just the juiciest of drama, like just the juiciest peach of drama. Um, and the other thing was it just takes the biggest events of anyone's life and condenses them down in 60 minutes, and so that's why it's so engaging. I guess you're just so hyper fixated on what these characters are going to do next. Cons, let's see, what did I write down? Sometimes it's preposterous at times. They're in high school. For a high school drama, it's extremely dark, way dark. Um, yeah, I wrote down high school. Really, really high school. Really. Yeah, that's. I mean, it's just. It wasn't my high school. Um, I don't know if it was anybody's. It'd be interesting to know if anyone did have this type of high school because, you might need to see a therapist there. Um, oh, one other con I had might have been because I was drinking, but I did have a hard time following the flashbacks. They were not easy. It was hard telling if we were in a flashback at times or if we weren't. I imagine on the second rewatch it'd be easier to it would be obvious, but at the moment I just remember thinking or asking, "Hey, are we in a flashback right now?" Because I have no idea what's going on. So there was definitely like cuts. I mean, there was no like obvious we're in a flashback. It was, one scene present right into a flashback, and then right out of one, or into like a montage. At the end was Zendaya doing the pills, I think, somewhere along. But we were in a flashback. I don't know. It was all kind of a little difficult to follow. Sometimes you had to take context clues from like or you had to listen very carefully to what was said a minute or two before they dived into this flashback. So they were just, if you weren't, this is a show that you have to pay attention to because little clues, like little offhand, little sentences about um, the other night I had to wear, I was wearing the football jersey when Cassie was wearing the football jersey. That flashback, I'm like, so now we're at another party. What's going on here? It ended up being the flashback the night before, but it just showed you had to pay attention. So, yeah. And then that was probably my biggest. Like, it was not easily straightforward. I do like flashbacks. Don't get me wrong. I think they tell. I almost said it wrong again. A great. It's a great telling device, but they were hard to follow for me personally. And then unlikable characters. I wrote this down probably because I think everyone in this show is unlikable. I don't really know if there's anyone likable. Um, like Lexi, maybe. Um, between the ones I've talked about, not really. Not really likable. I guess you just like to see them destroy themselves. I guess that's the draw to this show, is you like it's just intriguing to watch these characters spiral out of control. You know, it is what it is. That's drama. So, really, I'm gonna end it there. I think I've talked long enough. Looking forward to season 2, and let me know what you think.